let's give it one more check. Here we go, switch, clear, danger. I like that. The bounce feature is random on this, so sometimes it will bounce more than others. Sometimes it won't bounce at all. There are 1500 options it randomly selects. I'm happy with that. So what we need to do next is sort the electrics out. So a couple of points here. This is your standard servo plug, and this is the plug that comes on these diddy little Hobby King servos, and you can see they are quite different. So what I did, I picked up some cables with no plug on. Whoops, there's a bare wire. This has a female on one end, and I've attached it to a servo extension lead. But what I'll be doing with this for installation is I'll be cutting this plug off. I shall attach a regular servo lead to it, and will also hook up the LED via a 1K resistor to the 5 volts that goes into the servo. And assuming the LED works, we should have a rather nice light as well. So on the final part of this video, I need to remove the servo plug and acquire a servo extension lead or a servo lead that I've cut off from before and think about attaching it. Let's get all the bits together. So I have a regular male to male servo lead, and what I'm going to do is cut that in half, and I'll splice this onto this servo lead. I'll find a 1K resistor and I'll introduce the power to the LED at the top of the semaphore in the hope that it works. Here's my 1K resistor. It's brown, black, red. Normally I'd fit an 0805 surface mount resistor. They're a lot smaller, but I think there'd be nothing for you to see, so we'll do it the old school. So let's trim the legs. Something to hold it, and we're going to need to trim. I'll put the resistor on the positive. Which I'm struggling to strip. There we go. Wow. So let's get the iron up, and we'll put a little bit of solder onto these, and at the same time, oops, we'll tin the resistor as well. There we go, that's up. Tin the iron, apply solder to the wire, apply solder to the wire, heat the resistor, apply solder to the wire, heat, apply solder. And I think that's good. So let's add. The red lead's staring at me, so I'm going to attach that to the resistor. So we'll tin the iron again. And because the solder's already applied, I should have enough to just melt. So there's our resistor in place. So what are we going to do here? Let's strip and bare these. On this servo, the lightest colour is the signal, red is pos, and the brown is the negative. And I see I've run out of the right size heat shrink, so I'll be using the wrong size heat shrink. But I'll take one for the team so I can get this video done. Okay, let's peel back some of the servo lead. So we've got the resistor on the positive, so let's deal with that first. So I'll bare all these and we'll tin them so that bad things don't happen. They look good. Let's give them a little twist just to take out any fraying. Hold them in here somehow. There we go. And let's tin them. Start by tinning the iron, tin the wire. I'm soldering at 280 degrees here, but this is not lead free because it's for me. If it's for one of my products, then it's all lead free and I solder much higher. I also have a fume extraction system here. If I turn it on, you won't hear a thing. Maybe that's preferable. So I've got a resistor here in the red line, positive. I've got a servo red lead here, and I've got the input here, all of which need to come together. So the servo red lead needs to go to the lead here, and that needs to attach to the side of the resistor where the power comes in. Let's see how we can do this. Red, so I want, I'm thinking of 2 there. Pull that a bit further back. Let's see how we're going to manage this, or what could possibly go wrong. So we've got the red there, we've got the red here. Yes. When your hands are as big as mine, this is a nightmare. Let's flex quite nicely. We do the ugly stuff first. I'll re-tin that now it's attached. And then let's attach the red lead. Good. If there was ever a masterclass in how not to do it, you're probably looking at it. So what I'm going to do is cover that with a piece of heat shrink all the way to there, and we'll just shrink it down. Okay, I think that's on. So now we want the negative side. This should be easier. It's basically all 3 negative wires joined together. Can you see my deliberate error? The heat shrink's fallen off. Let's put that back on. So we want that, we want this. Let's join these 2 together. There's a bit of faffing, I suppose, getting the LED going, but if it works, I think it's quite rewarding. Certainly on the N scale semaphores I have with the Dapol mod, they look, I think they look rather smart. Okay, let's give that a little tin. trim it. Okay, let's introduce the ground to these. If at the end of this you see me go, "Dana," and there it all is, you'll know it went horribly wrong, and I've switched to a different semaphore. And finally the signal. Quick trim. Let's get it the right way round. This will do something like that. And we're done. Heat shrink. And there's the heat shrink attached. I brought this to cover a little bit more, but I'll do just where the resistor is. And I think we're on. So the moment of truth. Let's connect it, see if it works, and then we'll tidy up these wires. Servo controller. Plug the servo in. Ah, we have an LED. Oh yes. Can I adjust that a little better? Yes, I can. Okay. Let me turn the light out here. So I've got a working LED. Brilliant. Right, the semaphore's not quite lined up with the green light. So let's bring it on and let's readjust danger. Gosh, it comes quite down. Okay, I like that. All the way back to clear. Looks about right. Oh yes, how nice is that? I call that a result. So that is definitely worth me tidying up the cables now. Let's put the light on. So I've got something going on here, looks a bit of a mess. What I don't want to do is have strain on these wires, they're the most delicate. And I basically want to get them all so they exit cleanly. How are these going to go? I could do it like this maybe. I can put it on the side. I need to have a think about that. I'll probably end up sliding some heat shrink over a load of it. And the way I'll do that, I'll take the plug off at the end of the servo. And that will allow me to slide a slightly thicker heat shrink. Got the big sizes, the shorter ones, well, they're all in the post. Let's see how this looks. So can I get that doubled up into the heat shrink? I'm sorry I'm all fingers and thumbs. It happens. There we go. Let's try and get that in. Okay, I'm looking like my big heat shrink isn't big enough. I just want everything to be in one place. I make no claims for cleanliness or the way it should be. This just works for me, and if it works for me, you're welcome to find your own way of doing things. After all, it's called modelling. Something like that would work for me, I think, if I hold this down. So what I need is some method of attaching that. So I'll think on that. I might even use a tie wrap as it's for demo for now, until I come up with another idea. But there's my semaphore, looking like it's ready to go. Let's just tighten up this heat shrink. So I'm hoping that's given you an idea for how to do this, or probably an idea on how not to do it. Do you know what? I might nip that lug off there. Make sure it doesn't go flying. A bit more room there. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. And there's a little gap under the balsa in here for a diddy tie wrap. I hope I've got some left. So I suppose I could stick it on my N scale demo track, and you could see it waggle round a little bit. I better put the servo lead back in, just get the plugs the right way up. If you remove them the right way with a small screwdriver and just move the lug enough to break the lock, then they're all reusable. I don't know if you heard, they all snapped in. Let's make sure that one's gone in. Yeah. That's good and tight, ready for use. Let's give it a go on the layout. So I've put the OO semaphore next to the N scale semaphore, and I'll run the loco round and you can see how the motion looks. And then I'll move the track circuit detector onto the N scale and you can compare the two. Kill the sound. So here we come into the section and we're at danger, and then we're out. Let's slow that down. Back into the section. It'll sit at danger until we run out. I think that's a rather pleasing result. Let me connect the N gauge up now to channel 1. Let's see how that looks. I think that's a good result. Thanks for watching.